hadamadin ila nyantolum preji kendomi annun ji senawo adabe hadamadun la balu wala kon annun hadamadun ka fengo fen dundi akono kono ayanda ke ku senawol ayake kuti mi yalo ko ata hadamadun mantora madimul one stop water solutions limited ibe janne gambia banko kan annun ye fitarole natal me yalo ko isala jiol kende andi anu isa senen inatale pour ka ji kendo ji senawo natale gambia banko kan jio mi yalo ko atal mantora la annun jio diata baki one stop water solutions limited ye fitarole natal me yalo ko alse muna fanganola alla pompol isala jiol tenteng ya senendi coming alla fala nyame naketa pompoti bang abo holo fo nawek la pipe wala a filter sifa o sifa one stop solutions ya natalele 10-inch filter set of 3 ya sotalele filter mi yalo ko acidiota aya tenteng natara bankole ba kono fa kenyo wala kankan be bije sa be bon filter fana member ko 12-inch set of 3 filter mi yalo ko acidiota aya dada aya senendi mensebeta alla jata kendato fana sotale CTO block carbon filter o fana mu filter mi yalo ko asi chemical o bonnino jiol kono le mensebeta alla jata kenda filter member ko CTO block carbon mensi jiola chemical o be bondi akono pour ka alla jata kenda sa hen nim filter sabol be kiliwo kilina pansundo ko na wata tankol fana sotale kabirim 500 5000 fokata 10000 liters plumbing fittings fana be mol bulle alsemol tarano sukuta highway mariama kunda johnson wala ismol kumandi 505 5691 796 8272 one stop water limited solutions inatale ka jiko be sonende gambia banko.
Hello, good morning. Welcome to This Morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. We are broadcasting from our studios along the Kairaba Avenue. Wherever you're watching us from, This Morning is here for you. And we are saying hello to all our viewers, especially those that watch this program from the Philippines, UK, and of course, the United States of America. We are saying a wonderful thank you to you. And on this platform, as usual, I'm here with my colleague, Mr. Iso Nyasi, welcome.
Good morning. Good morning, Balde. Good morning to our beautiful viewers out there, and of course to those following us online.
How are you?
I'm good.
I know you are always busy going up and down reports. Iso is a very busy man.
But I'm good. I'm happy to be back here.
Yeah, it's good to be here. And coming up on our program today, we'll be having the African proverb, and of course we'll also be joined by Jenaba Sonko. As you know, she is in Scotland rather, attending the COP26 climate change conference. And of course, we'll also do the newspaper review. Momodu Mboj will be here. He's already in the studio, but he will also help us do the newspaper review. And we'll also have Nawek in the studio with us. And from there, we'll be connecting at Fajara War Cemetery. As you know, today is Remembrance Day. It's important for us to remember our heroes, people that have been there when it was very hot, especially during times when wars were everywhere. And we'll also be acknowledging our sponsors. That's One Stop Water Solutions for all your water dispensers, and of course water filters. They are located. And you know, yesterday I was around Sukuta traffic lights, and I was at that end, and I said to myself, what about me getting in here and get a dispenser or something? So
I hope you did.
Yes, I could not, but I will try to at least one day pass by and buy one or two things from them.
Yeah, I mean, like they would always say, water is life. So if you want clean, safe, drinking water, you want, a very good dispenser, one that is also very affordable. Why not visit One Stop Water Solution?
Exactly.
They have the solution.
Yes. And so please take us through our African proverb today.
Yes. So our proverb this morning reads, when the village chief himself goes around inviting people to a meeting, know there is something wrong in the system.
Well, is that system change? I mean,
I am
are they
calling
for system change?
Because, maybe Mr. Mboj will help us interpret this.
Well, it will be very abnormal if a village chief, himself have to go around informing people to come. Kailen si meeting, Kailen attend meeting. Then dajalo, Kailen you dajalo fi. Well, there will be a problem. This means the people have already lose confidence. There is no more confidence, and people are not trying to follow the rules of a particular governance. Mr. Mboj, what do you think of this?
I think here the clue is the breakdown in the word system.
System, yeah.
Yeah, you know that it shouldn't be the job of the village chief to go around inviting people. You have your hierarchies and all of that. So if the village chief is going to do that, then there's an emergency. There's a problem going on. Either you said the people have lost trust, maybe, or I don't know, sheer incompetence. That also comes into the fray.
Yeah.
So it can mean all sorts of things. But again, I look at it from a slightly different angle. Oh, I like this chief. He wants things done. As a leader, sometimes you have your people. We are really our own enemy.
Sure.
Then you have the leader. Then who would lead things? Get up, act proactive, to go down and get dirty.
But let's take a look at this. At some point in life, you get to a particular stage. They will tell you, Mr. Mbodj, you should not be doing these jobs now. I think these jobs are for your little ones. I think you should not do this and this and this. Should there be a particular job that a person should not do?
That your junior should do. As you were saying there, I just remember Thomas Sankara, what he used to do and what he used to tell his people. Nobody is above doing manual work. It doesn't matter what you call yourself.
True.
I understand perhaps physically I may not be able to, you know what I mean? One understands these things, but otherwise, nobody is beyond doing certain jobs. So I'm really not into that kind of thinking at all. So, no, we must all get down and dirty. That's what leadership means. And then I'm sort of latched on to Sankara because recently I've been reading so much about him. Such a remarkable person, so one needs to know what exactly he did. He used to do physical work. Even Rawlings as well used to do physical work. So we must sort of get away from a certain world view, if you know what I mean. We have these traditional norms. But again, there's something that we want to do. We call it that we want to modernize. There must be some adaptation. I keep fashioning onto this and harping a lot on it because I want to drum it home into the younger people. Look at some of the things we do, refuse to do them.
Exactly.
If you really want to move this country, I have to say, we have, maybe we're just too close, if you like, too close to independence and colonialism. So you have these vestiges, these relics of a certain way of thinking that undermines us. You know what I mean? Because that was what really the system was about. You know, to turn your head around, then all you could be is just an instrument
They'll be using you.
So you need to move away from certain ways of thinking.
Well, we still have people who don't still agree to be used as an instrument. Anyway, interesting interaction here on the African Proverb. African proverbs are always very interesting. Well, viewers, and of course, if you're just tuning in, it's QTV's This Morning. And I'm Ibrahim Abalde, and I'm with Eso Nyasi, and of course, Mr. Mbodj will be here. Mr. Mbodj is already here. Why am I saying we'll be here? Okay, what we'll do, we'll take a short break, and after the break, Jenaba Sonko will be joining us live. We'll be right back.
Your favorite mobile service has done it again. Now, you can buy cash power with your QMoney account, free of charge. Yes, you heard me right, for free. Nothing is cheaper than free, so start buying your cash power from the comfort of your homes with unbeatable services QMoney has to offer. With QMoney, life is easy. Visit your nearest QMoney agent to cash in or call customer care on 133 for more information. Don't forget to wash your hands with soap after handling cash. Stay home, stay clean, stay safe. QMoney, Sunyu Kalpe. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back from that break. QMoney Sunyu Kalpe, we innovate, others flow. Don't forget to wash your hands. COVID is still here. Use your face mask. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, before the break, Jenaba Sonko will be joining us live from Scotland, and she is currently attending the COP26 Climate Change Conference. And there are many things that are discussed when it comes to climate change, particularly in Africa. As you know, Gambia plays a very important role when it comes to the Green Wall. We'll be connecting to Jenaba now. Hello, Jenaba.
Hello, Ibrahima.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am fine.
I hope you've taken your breakfast.
And I need to wear an African attire.
Well, it's good to have you back on this program. As I promised you yesterday, we'll be talking to you today. And what's going on, Jenaba? What were the discussions centered on yesterday?
Yeah, I'm just teasing you here. I'm just saying that you forgot to remind me that today is Thursday and I have to wear an African attire.
Well,
can you hear me?
I think it's a bit difficult for us to hear Jenaba clearly. We'll be talking to her very soon. But Jenaba is in Scotland at the moment, attending the COP26 climate change conference. This is very important for us to see how to preserve our nature, to see how best to work on it so that we will get what we want. And elders have been sitting, officials have been sitting currently and talking about this, bringing solutions on the table. We'll engage ESO. Jenaba will be talking to us very soon. I mean, what do you think of this?
I have to say she's been doing a wonderful job throughout this period. Very much proud of her. Now, the COP26 Global Convergence presents an opportunity. I think we have Jenaba on the line.
She's back on the line. Hello, Jay.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes, now we are hearing you loud and clear.
Yes, Ibrahima, I was teasing you. I was saying that you did not remind me today is Thursday and I have to wear an African attire this morning.
Did you see my African?
Yes, looking good.
It's nice. Yes. Jenaba, I understand yesterday too was a very important day when it comes to the climate change conference. And can you take us through what were some of the discussions?
Yeah, so I'm going to start with some of the things that happened when it comes to Gambia before just taking a look at the global space. Yesterday, Amin Fabry participated in a session that had to do with food systems, how climate change affects food systems. We know food systems has to do with everything. It has to do from input to production, to livestock, agricultural production, equipment, and all of that, and how climate change is affecting these things. So the UN organized a food system summit, and the job of Amin Fabry was quite simple yesterday. She just had to give a rundown of some of the milestones over there at the UN Food System Summit. And part of the things that they talked about had to do with access to land, specifically to youth, women, and differently able. How this demography can be involved into agricultural production. That is part of the thing that was discussed, and that is very important, because when it comes to disabled individuals, we know how much they are marginalized. We know how much young people are really not involved into agricultural practices. Although sometimes they do that, but they do not find it lucrative. So what can other countries, richer countries do to support less developed nations when it comes to agricultural productions and all of that? And another thing that was discussed, part of her statement, had to do with the private sector involving in food systems. It's, she talked to give an example of rice production currently. They're trying to work with the young Gambians. They're trying to privatize that area in a way. I know Mr. Butch is there, and he's so particular about
He's particular about privatizing.
Certain things that government is taking care of right now.
Well, very important, Jenaba. One thing I don't like about conferences, just coming, sitting and talking without implementation. That's a problem, Jenaba. What do you think of that?
Yes, I think it's a problem. And just to tell you that Boris Johnson yesterday was begging world leaders to come up with positions, using a holistic approach, finally, because it's just tomorrow. And he's afraid that a decision might not be made before tomorrow. And then you have to go back to COP27 in Egypt. You know, so literally yesterday, Boris Johnson was begging, he appeared frustrated yesterday, begging world leaders to make the full compromise.
Janaba, what do you think it's a problem that they cannot come into a conclusion on something that will, at least people will understand?
Ibrahim, that's quite simple. The answer is very simple. Different countries have different interests. They have different resources that they want to use for the development of their individual countries, not the world. And then if they have to stop certain things, to them it's not favorable. So they're not putting the world first, they're putting the country first.
Exactly.
So it's quite simple. That is it. But just to give you a rundown.
Yes, I understand when it comes to gas. I mean, there are countries that didn't even attend the climate change conference. I mean, I understand.
Yeah, just to give you a rundown. Yesterday, a major pledge was made, and 190 countries, banks have agreed to phase out coal power and not support coal power. But like I said in my report, do not be too excited. Major coal power companies, as well as miners, did not even attend the COP26, although 190 countries gave that pledge. And as well, that particular pledge is non-binding. You can't take any country to court if they do not fulfill some of these priorities. So at the end of the day, where we're heading to?
Well, that's the problem, Ms. Hunyasi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. For me, I mean, Jainaba, I mean, with regards to the Gambian delegation as well, any activities for yesterday? Apart from
like I mentioned.
Yeah. Yes, go on.
We had, February yesterday, that was the main engagement yesterday that she did, you know, attending that event on food system. And we all know Gambia, you know, gets to depend on agriculture in a way. Although, like I mentioned yesterday, when it comes to the climate crisis that is happening, we contribute less to it, but we get to face it more than the richer countries. That is why part of the milestones during the dialogue had to do with financing. Financing, like I mentioned yesterday, is on top of the discussions in the COP26.
So regarding Ami Fabre's statement, we know the Vice President did also, I mean, he gave a powerful statement asking world leaders to take action, that the time is now. And we've also seen Fatou Jeng also, I mean, pleading for women to take that leadership role in the fight against climate change. What are the key takeaways from Ami Fabre's statement?
Yes, like I mentioned, the key takeaway for me was that they're asking for support for youth, women, and differently abled. Like I mentioned yesterday, Kemo Fati, leading environmental activist, is pressing for the involvement of these very vulnerable demographics. So for me, that was the most important aspect of her statement yesterday.
Well, Mr. Bosch, anything for Janaba?
Yes, of course. I mean, you mentioned really the crux of the matter, the financing. Even though they agreed, remember the 100 billion that was agreed in 2015 in Copenhagen, but we knew that that was just a drop in the ocean. There were substantially more. But let me ask you this. I mean, they reneged on that promise. Do you get the sense, at least among the delegates interacting with the participants over there, are people sort of optimistic that whatever pledge, because there seem to be so many pledges, and you said these are non-binding pledges, do you get the sense that people are optimistic that these pledges would be fulfilled? Remember, just before the beginning of the conference started, Greta Thunberg, that famous young lady, when she said, well, it's just going to be blah, blah, blah. Do you get the sense that people sort of think that this is just blah, blah, blah?
Yes, when I interact with people, they totally feel it's a blah, blah, blah. Just because there is no document binding holding these authorities to account. So really, the pledges are just there, but you know, everyone has their doubts in relation to these things, because this is not the first time issues such as happening, whereby people are not sticking to priorities or documents that the respective countries have ratified. So really, the doubt is there.
Well,
And also, it's important to note that India, the world's biggest greenhouse gas producer, did not even present a nationally determined contribution. You know, so if some of these things are happening, then we will have our doubts at the end of the day in relation to what can be achieved. That is why yesterday Boris Johnson came. He was desperate yesterday. He was begging world leaders to come up with a decision, you know, that bold decision. If not, an agreement wouldn't be reached at the COP26. And then we let's look forward to COP27 in Egypt. And then it will keep on continuing every single year.
That's it. So this is it. It seems like, I think you touched on it earlier, that you have all these different centers, these multiplicities of centers of different interests. So perhaps in order to have an agreement, they will have to water down so much of what what should be done. Then in the end, it wouldn't be worth much. You've just touched the heart of the problem here.
Yeah, so this is actually the situation, but we're still waiting. There's still some time. We have today, we have tomorrow. Let's see what these world leaders will come up with. But the fact that, for example, India, the biggest greenhouse gas producer, cannot even come up with a nationally determined contribution, what does that tell us?
That's a problem.
So, Jennifer, before we take a leave of you, given Boris Johnson's statement, as you put it, I mean, he was basically begging world leaders to take action. We've heard the same message from our vice president, from almost all the other world leaders who are taking part in this conference. Do you get a sense that things would, at least we would see some change after this?
I don't think so. And with Mr. Mbodj, I think I can answer that. I don't think so, with the way things are going. You know, seeing, but I don't think Boris Johnson should beg world leaders to make decisions that are meant to benefit generations to come at the end of the day. You know, Obama yesterday mentioned, day before yesterday, he said, being a young person in this generation, now, in this 2021, it's hard because you are thinking about, you know, next minute where your children might live, will be flooded, a lot of windstorm disasters. Like you are not safe, your children might not be safe, and your children's children might not also be safe. So it's a change. So it's quite sad that decisions that are meant to save the world, for us to live, for us to build our economy and all of that, there are certain countries that do not want to, you know, put that in front of their agenda.
Well, Jennifer, thank you very much.
You just, that's interesting there.
Yeah.
She just said that she doesn't think that Boris should beg. Oh, Jennifer doesn't know Boris.
Which is very true.
Okay.
Which is very true.
Jennifer, thank you very much for talking to us on this morning, and hope to talk to you very soon again.
Yes, Ibrahim, before I go, please let me acknowledge our sponsors before I leave. Special thanks goes to SM Bruxelles for partnering with us for the COP26 in collaboration with Q Group of companies as well, to make sure I am here today in Glasgow to give Gambians, you know, all the happening here. So without them, this would have been really difficult. So SM Brussels and Q Group of companies, we appreciate your support.
Thank you very much. And One Stop Water Solutions is waiting for you.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer Sonko there from Glasgow, Scotland, on the COP26 climate change conference. And of course, many things are happening there at the moment. Boris Johnson begging for world leaders to take a look at this, Mr. Mbodj. I think...
Hey, come on, man. Let's put it in context. He's the host. You want a successful one.
Absolutely.
It's just as simple as that. It's not necessarily
Yeah,
that he
could
cares
be,
about
yeah,
it.
that could be a strategy to make sure. I mean, they signed this.
Boris is just being Boris Johnson. Anybody who knows Boris, he will do
Without,
anything.
without an agreement at the end of this conference.
We'll still look forward to COP27. Yes. Yeah. Well, we'll go straight to the newspaper review. And as I mentioned, that we will be having Mr. Mboj with us to be reviewing the newspaper with us. Let's take a look at the Fourier. NAWEC disrupt backwater fish market business. New nationwide transport fare, tariff and queuing system for transit goods. And of course, that's the Fourier and the Standard. APP Kurang endorse Halifa Sallah, Marisok bags UDP Dabo. And of course, SRFAL launches manifesto. TRRC to submit report before election. Transport fares to go up. That's the president of the Transport Union. PDOIS explains system change to Bundung voters. Barrow gets another endorsement. And that's the Standard newspaper. Let's take a look at the Point newspaper. Okay, acute water shortage hits Welingara, Bantaba. And of course, SRFAL unveils blueprint. Barrow promises monthly salary for Alcalos. And Basiru Barrow's widow will never forgive Jammeh. This is what we have on the three papers that we'll be treating here today. Mr. Mboj, let's take a look at the biggest headline on the Standard newspaper, TRRC to submit reports before elections. Most people were thinking this is politically motivated. That's why the report was delayed. And there are many things when it comes to submitting the report. There are many factors delaying this. What do you think?
Yes, you've made certain assumptions there, very interesting. You said most people. How do you know that most people?
Well,
did you conduct a survey?
Well, most people. When I say most people, it's the rumor in town. What people say. I mean, you interact with people and they'll be like, "Affair be election bata, affair be ki aki," and when you talk to more than 10 people, I mean, it can be most people.
No, not necessarily. Your individual, anecdotal, as it were, experience is not necessarily representative of the reality out there. It doesn't work like that. They call that kind of thinking unscientific. So let's just discuss that. There are some people who say this, that it was all politically motivated. For me, when I hear stuff like that, I want to hear the reasoning behind this thinking. I mean, most thinking is really quite shoddy, I have to say. So, well, because the coincidence with the elections, there's one, and there was also the NPP-APRC alliance. That's another. So people are putting one on one together. How rational is that? How reasonable is that? That's another discussion. So people are putting one on one together and say that, oh, this is all politically motivated. He doesn't want to receive the report now and deal with the sort of sticky bits. There would be some real difficult decisions that one must take, because here it's a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. So some people will be given amnesty. That much, let us be prepared for that. Yeah. It's gonna happen. We want justice, but again, we want things that do not sit easily together. The justice element, which is quite strict justice, what does it mean? When you do something wrong, I punish you, you do something right, I reward you, essentially it. Yeah. But again, we've added something else that would say, well, you've done something wrong, but I forgive you. Now, that's extremely difficult. Granted. But I do not see any political elements in this. I do not know what is the difference, because you're going to have to deal with it anyway.
I don't think it's political.
You're going to have to deal with it anyway.
Going through the newspaper this morning, reading a particular paragraph, I mean, according to the paper, it is alleged that some members of the TRRC delayed the submission of the TRRC report because they want to still be receiving salaries. They don't want their tenure to end, according to the paper.
No, but remember that they had completed what they had completed some
Some
volumes,
volumes, yes.
wasn't it that they went to submit, but the receiving body said that
They
no,
should
I want
complete
it all
it, yes.
completed.
And then they have to request for an extension.
So that is to some extent a kind of contradiction to what you're saying.
Yeah.
In fact, if they had their way, they would have submitted, and perhaps the remaining, the few that remain.
Well,
then they will
I'm
submit.
trying to show you how
Yes.
people are connecting this, because reading the paper this morning, you will see to read that this is what the paper is saying, and this is what people are saying out there. Yes.
Yeah, but again, what's on the paper sounds more like an allegation because they're saying this is what they're hearing. So it's more like an allegation.
It's an allegation.
And Mr. Balde, we must do something else. I mean, come on. God, when you look at the ecology, social media, there are so many different voices. So what do I have? What is my tool to deal with all these different voices? My reason. What is reasonable for me to respond to? If you want to respond to everything, you will go mad. You'll be pulled and pushed in all directions. So you must apply your blue pencil, if one can call it that, reason. What is reasonable for me to respond to? The rest, I'll just put in the bin.
Well, it's although few people can do that, but others cannot. I mean, any information that they've seen, I mean, they tend to digest and move with it. I mean,
Yet it doesn't invalidate the idea of what I just said. I remember one time at school when Professor Lamin Sane, formerly of Harvard, I think the late now, my friend wrote, there was a work done. So what was written in the book was, let those who know, teach those who don't. Then I think he was the one who wrote there, let those who do not know listen to those who do. Yeah. This is really what's going on here. The few, well, sorry, you've got that pyramid. Always where you go, you have a few who would possibly have to teach the plenty.
But for me, the good thing in that is the fact that it's going to be submitted before the elections. So we know that, I mean, after elections, whoever is president, that should be one of your first, one of the first things you need to work on.
But what's the difference? Before election, after election, you have to deal with it. What really
yeah,
is the difference?
exactly.
Because given now, we are right, what is really the difference when you think about it, substantially, substantively? None. What's the talking point? I don't even know what's the news.
Okay, moving on. Let's take a look at transport fares to go up. I don't understand, Mr. Boyd. I mean, we've been paying $10 from Westfield to QCell, from Westfield to traffic lights. I mean,
when it should be really what?
It should be $8. And we are paying $10. I pay $10 from Lamin to Mandinering. I mean, and it's supposed to be $8. So, well, I think this is just on paper, but it's already implemented. I mean,
well, maybe then they will formalize it.
Well, it's
okay,
been
finally,
implemented,
it's
like,
$10, stuff like that. This is what apparently the transport union, the president said, this is what they're going to do.
Yeah.
They haven't done yet. We'll see. Just wait until they do.
Okay, let's take a look at PDOI's explained system change to Bundung voters.
It's election time. It's expected. I mean, you have other parties going around the country having rallies. I think for them, they're doing it differently. They're going house to house, neighborhood to neighborhood. So everyone have your way of campaigning, and if that is what works for them, yeah.
Yes, I have to say, I like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Going from house to house, talking
yeah.
to people, that personal touch, I think it helps.
Mr.
Perhaps the interesting thing here would be explaining system change.
Yeah.
It seems to me that's an interesting one. There's no denying we've been saying this actually since independence, when we said that now we are independent, new Africa. Well, our founding fathers were thinking of something else called the new African. That is system change. So we've been talking about system change without necessarily putting it in such terms. But in reality, substantively, that was just the same thing.
Mr. Boyd, in Africa, do people believe in system change?
What does that mean, whether you believe in system change? You are embedded within a system. So people, the educated ones, people who study these things, you know, they will understand this. And obviously, this is what we've been working on. It's extremely difficult. System change doesn't just necessarily mean that you change the institutions and that sort of thing. System change is really, it begins in your mind. You have to change the person. I cannot have system change without changing the person. I think that is really what the problem is with system change. We've already got what, 50 years of experience to see some of the practical difficulties of system change. You know, you have to change the person. If you do not change the person, it's not going to happen. Recently, I was listening to the president of Malawi, Lazarus. I thought that was a bold address, telling the people that you are all writing to me, asking me to run your house for you, asking for money, begging for money. When you do this with politicians, what are you doing? You are corrupting the politicians. In politics. They don't have much money when you look at their salary. So you see how we are the ones who corrupt our politicians. We corrupt the whole system. We are the system. We corrupt the whole thing. And then, but because of the way our society is organized, it's easy for me to have a scapegoat. Oh, it's the government. Oh, it's the ministers. Oh, these people are awful. But again, when you look at me, what I do in my workplace, I'm just like them. We see it all over the place.
I agree, Hansta.
Well, it will be very difficult to take that kind of mentality from people, because this is what people have, especially in Africa. In other countries like Europe, America, people understand the government cannot do everything for you. The government cannot do certain things for you. You have to stand up and do certain things. The government too, they have their own things to do.
But again, who is the government in the first place?
For me, I'm not even going as far as that. What I've seen in life is that there is cause and there is effect. I keep wondering, how come we cannot develop? How come we cannot do this? How come we cannot do that? It's because of the way I am. So we can go on crying until the cows come home. If I do not change, nothing will happen. We can go for the next century. Time doesn't care.
Is that where system change comes into play?
Well, whether you change willingly or life, nature, there are so many external forces outside of you. They have an impact on how your life goes. So that is why you want to be captain of your ship. You don't want to be at the mercy of the currents. Nobody can stand still. I once told somebody, you can sit somewhere and then you think you're not moving, you are. Sooner or later, you start getting gray hairs, white hairs. Things are moving. Whether you want to drive, steer, or you just want to be carried, your choice. But every action, there's a reaction. Whatever decision you take, you pay the consequences. We'll just go on crying and mourning in pain and suffering and all the rest of it.
Interesting, Esonyasi. We've also seen SFR launches manifesto. Wow, manifesto.
Yeah, I mean, for any serious politician, you would need to, when you're dealing with the electorates, you'll have to tell them and show them how you intend to go about, implementing programs and policies that are going to have an impact on their lives. And the manifestos are one way of communicating directly to the electorates, and in other words, practically showing them what you intend to do to have that positive impact on their lives. So manifestos are important. People don't take manifestos seriously. I mean, a lot here. Sometimes you ask some of these, even party militants, you ask them, they can't even say much about their party manifestos. So it's good that, for him and his followers, it's good, even for Gambians in general. I think for all the 6 final candidates, the ones that have been confirmed, I think all of them have published their manifestos, and this is a chance for Gambians to go through all of their manifestos.
All of their manifestos. It's important. Manifesto is not a new thing. I mean, politicians have been coming up with different manifestos. The problem with them is most people will show you their manifesto, but at the end of the time, they don't go by the manifesto. They tend to deviate from what they show the people, Mr. Boj?
Oh, do people read them?
Exactly.
well, that's a big question.
Yeah, of course. Yes, absolutely central to this whole party politics, party democracy, that you give your manifesto and then people on the basis of that will decide whether we vote for you or not. But again, you realize that most manifestos, really, they're so similar in so many ways. Well, which is a good thing. For me, I have a slightly larger point to put to my mind everything in context. That's why people wouldn't read it. They're not interested, and we don't give all of that. I mean, democracy really has sort of three assumptions. Let me tell you this. First, that I educate my population. And then secondly, when I give them information, that is the manifesto, then they will behave rationally. Then on the basis of that, I go and vote. But when you don't have some of these conditions, so let us put our democracy into context in many ways. It is still maturing. Yeah. You cannot have that sort of ideal democracy, but again, the people are left behind. The people are not like that. Our democracy will only reflect what we are. So it is maturing. So telling us what you're going to do, this, what you're going to do that. When I look at my society, economically, what is it you can do? You have IMFs, World Bank, everything is being dictated from outside. We don't have much money, the aid, the grant. But how much room do you have really to exercise your sovereignty? I keep on asking myself this. I think we are sort of like hemmed in many ways by poverty, corruption there, fiscal mismanagement. There are just all of these constraints. I feel sorry for anybody who really wants to be a president. I don't understand it. You have such a huge job to do.
Definitely.
This is an extremely difficult society to run.
Complex, yeah.
We are small, but highly complex.
People think Gambia is small. Yes, it can be small by size, but when it comes to dealing with state matters, it's big.
You know, the point is you're dealing with human beings. We are just as complex as any huge country. You know, complexity doesn't depend on the size of the country.
Mr. Mamadou Mbodj, thank you very much for joining us on the newspaper review. And I'm afraid that's all we have for the newspaper review. It's so interesting.
Indeed, it's always good listening to Mr. Mbodj and Ade. I mean,
yes. The good thing is, I mean, they will be analyzing it for you, and you'll be just looking at that.
And you get to learn as well.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mbodj, for coming. And be reminded, this program is sponsored by One Stop Water Solutions for all your water dispensers and filters. They are located at Sukuta Jabang traffic lights. Go window shop and get your water filters and, of course, dispensers. And after the break, we'll be having NAWIC. They will be here to discuss about the new service that they introduced to make it very convenient for the general public in accessing some of their services. We'll be back.
To make sure your company's products and services reach your potential customers, it is essential that you choose the right channel for your marketing purposes. QTV has the widest reach locally and beyond, and we can give your business the visibility it needs. Call QTV Marketing on +220 324 4444 or email us at marketing@qtv.gm and take your business to the world. The best product in town is back. QCell's MiFi router. Get the best MiFi in the country for just $2,800 and connect up to 15 users with 4G internet speeds and a long-lasting battery life. So rush now to any of our customer care locations and get the best for less while stocks last. For more info, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Boss, the Gambia's quality network. We innovate, others follow.
Q Money, the biggest mobile money service in the Gambia, has taken mobile banking to the next level. Now, you can link your Q Money wallet with your bank account. Yes, link your Ajib or EcoBank accounts with your Q Money wallet and get instant access to your cash anytime. No need to queue at the bank anymore. Transfer funds from your bank account to your wallet or your wallet to your bank account using Q Money Bank Link is the fastest, most secure, and convenient way to transfer funds between your wallet and bank account. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunyu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Check out the all-new Tigo 8 at S-Pass Motors. Call 3522-222 or 353-2222 for more information.
Cherry. Light. From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living.
We need light to work,
To build,
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
light makes things easier and better.
So QCell has changed the way you buy Q-Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your cash power tokens instantly with the new QCell Q-Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With a touch of your fingers,
With ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
you can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q-Power, lighting your world.
QCell Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back after that break, and of course you're watching QTVs this morning, and as I mentioned, we'll be having Nawek, but I'll be connecting to Mohamed Lamin Choi at the moment. He's in Fajara. As you know, today is Remembrance Day to all Commonwealth member states. It's important for us to remember our fallen heroes. We call them the fallen soldiers, the people who participated in the First World War. And we have Mohamed Lamin Choi at the moment on the line. Hello, Choi.
Hello, Balde.
Yes, how are you? How are you, Mohamed Lamin Choi?
It's a pleasure to join you on this program. We are okay, alhamdulillah.
Yes, it's Remembrance Day, and I understand you are at the Fajara War Cemetery. What's going on?
Thank you very much, Balde. We have participants of this event who are, coming to grace this occasion, which is organized by the British High Commission. And we have members of the diplomatic corps, the ambassador of the United States of America, representative from the EU, and Guinea-Bissau and other diplomatic missions in this country. So it's a hugely significant day. Going back to history, in the First World War, we had about 2,000 Gambians who participated in this war, and they did tremendously well. And some of them, in fact, lost their lives, to give you the records there in the First World War. 186 people died, 186 Gambian died in this war. So another war also happened in the global history, which is the Second World War, and 1,350 Gambians participated, and 126 lost their lives. So this is a very special occasion, which really commemorates the end of hostilities of the wars between the Allied forces and the Axis forces. So it's an important day, and Gambians will be commemorating their fallen heroes, soldiers who defended the wall by fighting for their former colonial masters.
Okay.
Gambia then was colonized by Britain.
At the moment, Mahmoud Lamin Choi, who will be the people in attendance? Who will be attending this event? The ambassador, is he there? The U.S. ambassador and the British High Commission?
Yes, we have the U.S. ambassador who will be taking, who is in attendance currently on this special occasion. The British High, Commissioner David Belgrove, who is also in attendance.
Well,
and other representatives of the diplomatic corps. So at 11 sharp, this program begins because it marks the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. Usually Remembrance Days happen on Sundays. The Gambia government, through the Gambia Armed Forces, will be commemorating this event on Sunday. So the British High Commission doing the commemoration on this very important day, exactly when the Allied forces and the Axis forces signed a treaty marking the end of hostilities at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. Balde.
Interesting and very important issue. Mahmoud Lamin Choi there.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, it's a historic day, one that we remember. I mean, fellow Gambians, who took part in the First World War, and as he, mentioned, you look at the number, given our size, it's a significant number. 186 lives. That's huge.
Exactly.
I think it's worth remembering.
Well, okay, Mahmoud Lamin Choi, thank you very much for joining us on this morning, giving us update of the happening at the Fajarawa Cemetery at the moment. And people should follow this on the QTV News. I believe it will be coming.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you, Choi. Thank you very much. Viewers, you are watching QTV this morning. This program is powered by One Stop Water Solution for all your water dispensers. And I have with me officials from the National Water and Electricity Company, NAWEC. I have Ibrahim Sawane, Project Manager, BIMS, and Managing Director, Managing Regional Manager, GBA. Welcome to the program, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Yes, we've been hearing about this BOCA. How do you call it? Is it BOCA Information Management System? Can you take us through what is the meaning of this?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Balde. Just start with the name itself, BOCA.
I know BOCA is Olaf. When you talk about BOCA, it means people should come and at least put all hands on deck, isn't it as well?
Just to join things, and that's exactly what NAWEC is doing. We are trying to join all our different systems together so that we have one source of truth for everything. So all our processes that we have, which we are manual, we have to automate them and make sure that they are online. So the BOCA information management system is there to bring all these different departments of NAWEC and bring them together so that they will all be using one single system, wherein the systems are not the same, but they will be integrated to be able to talk to each other and then share information. So you have the internal systems which are there for the NAWEC operations, and then you have the customer-facing systems that is there for the customer. So that's basically...
Exactly. So you are Ibrahim Sawane, and the young man here, you are Matar. Matar?
Manjang.
Manjang. Oh, Matar Manjang. Okay, that's very important.
So how is this going to help improve NAWEC services?
Yeah, in terms of service delivery, because NAWEC is trying to be customer-centric, providing the solution to the customers by taking them to their doorsteps. Now, with this information system, now we have the ability to onboard a lot of third parties, for example, who will be able to use these services and extend it to their agents. We are also decentralizing NAWEC in terms of customer service. You will now have regions, like he's a regional manager for GBA, and then you have branches under him. So those branches now will be a one-stop shop where you can go in for any service that you are able to go before and have at the head office. You don't need to anymore. You can go to any of our branches. It's a one-stop shop, and they will do all the processes for you there. Matar will be talking about those ones.
Does this include, let's say, the buying of meters? How about the payment of for the services as well? Let's say if you were to pay for your
your consumption, service.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you for having us this morning. Okay, yeah, as I said, now we're trying to be more customer focused right now. Apart from onboarding many third parties to be able to bring access to customers their doorstep, we also have self-service portal whereby you can sit at your house, you log into our system, you log into the internet and have access to our systems. You can apply your services if you want to apply your service from there. And then you can do a lot of things. You can look at your bill, your consumptions, what you have been, so that you can be in control. You don't have time. Also, you don't have to wait until at the end of the month to know what your consumption is going to be. Our readings, previously we used to go to the house, come back, take the reading, come back, input it, and give you a bill. Now it's instant. We go to the house, we have a device, we pick your reading, and it bills. It bills you at that the following morning we can generate a bill.
They're moving digital.
They are moving
we are moving digital.
But my problem is, I mean, it's not just a matter of maybe inventing these services, but at the end of time, how effective it is. And we don't want to use these services. At the end of the time, we find it very difficult to access certain things that we want, because we've seen it. I mean, services will be introduced on certain, not particularly NAWEC, but other places, and even to access it is a problem.
Okay. That's right. Actually, what we are embarking upon here is a massive project. Maybe one of the biggest you will have in this country, because in terms of information system, the biggest we used to have was the IFMIS. Okay, and this is a little bit more wider in scope than the IFMIS. So right now we went on live on the 25th of October. That's when we went live with the system. But as you may have noticed that we came up with some press releases in between since then, because we are trying to stabilize the system. You know, it will take time. You know, and it's a major change. Like I said before, we have some manual processes which we are in play in NAWEC, and now all of those is digitized. So you have the human resources who have to get used to this system. People have to be trained. People have to get to use this system. The customers have to get used to the new ways of dealing business with NAWEC. You know, so it will take time, but we will have to. We will get there. You know.
So what I want to know is, I mean, in terms of accessibility, as is mentioned, this is just a follow-up. Let's say for the layman out there, let's say me who is a customer, and I want to start using this service. How do I access, I mean, this service? Is it is there a special website for it, or do I go to the normal NAWEC website, or is there an app developed for it? How does it work?
Yeah, for if you are a customer, there is a subscription service where you go in. The link is on the NAWEC website, and then you can go and subscribe for these services. So
what's the website? NAWEC.gm.
NAWEC.gm. www.nawec.gm. but right now it's been disabled. But we will roll it out. There is one or two things we need to finish up on it, and then we roll it out. But if you go to the NAWEX website, you will under the customer service or portal. That's where you can subscribe to the service, and then you'll be able to for the account you have with NAWEX. Remember now we have separated water and electricity in terms of customer service. So if you have an electricity meter, that's a separate account to the water meter. So in that case, if you subscribe to your account, you can add the various services there. That is water and electricity. So you'll be able to see what is my water bills like, or this is my electricity consumption like. So you have that. And then, of course, from that portal also, you'll be able to put in queries. For example, you have you don't normally have power.
Caters for that as well.
Yes, you can put that in, and then it is going to a particular officer. Now that officer also, the time he received that has been assigned to them, will be tracked, so that you, the customer, will now have a feedback to know, okay, I did not just make a complaint to NAWEX, but somebody is actually following up. So there is some KPI attached to that, to the commercial department. When they receive complaints, how much time did they take them to be able to resolve this complaint?
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
So
and I think that's important.
This is important.
Yes. I've also seen other systems like that, whereby even if the individual is not there, but when you send your message, you'll have an automated message that will tell you, we will reply to your message.
So it's been,
that has been catered for.
Yeah, I think that's very important. But we don't want to send messages, and it takes us 1 week before we get a reply.
No. Immediately you put in a complaint, you will get a notification, and there'll be a code, like I will say RCCA number. Your complaint has been registered, has been processed on this number. So even if you call our call center, which is 24 hours, 1669, you can give them that code. They will always track the process, how far the process has been gone. The same thing applies for application of new services, both water and electricity. If you put in an application, immediately we give you a notification to say that, okay, your application has been processed, it's been processed on this number. And we have...
go on.
Okay, we have sent services also that people can subscribe to, both SMS and email. Like, notification can be sent to you by email. If you don't have email, we can send it by SMS as well. This applies to even delivery of bills. Instead of delivering the hard copy, if you want to subscribe for us to be sending your bill by emails, we can send them by emails. Like we're going to start with all the big institutions, our big customers. We'll be sending them bills through emails. So you as an individual too, you can also subscribe to it if you want. So you can do all that in the self-starter, or you can walk into any of the NAWEX branches to be able to do these things.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think just to add to what Matara said about the electronic service, the e-services there, for corporate bodies and then government, we are giving them a grace period into the new year. 6 months around June, we expect all of them to be able to subscribe to these services, because we don't want to print bills for them. We have better facilities to be able to serve them. So this is what we are encouraging everybody. Bring your government accounts to the self-portal so that you manage them. It makes it easier between us reconciliation and all, to give you better service, So, but eventually we will have to stop it for the domestic customers and some of our low-level commercial customers. Yes, we can understand they will still want to receive the hard copy bill until the day they want to change. That is fine. But for government, there's no excuse. They should be able to receive these electronic formats.
Interesting.
Okay, so this is just a follow-up. As you mentioned earlier, I mean, this is a major change.
Yeah.
So in terms of security, how secure is this system?
Yeah, security is very secure, I can tell you that, very secure. There are several layers of security to the system. But security you always improve. It's a dynamic area. you have to improve. As you are closing this one, somebody is trying the other side.
Yes.
So it's very, very dynamic. What we are confident of what we implement. We think that is very secure, but we will not relent. We will still work on making it more secure, but more user-friendly and accessible to our people.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you doing to make sure you stop sending maybe bills to people's compounds to encourage everybody to use this system?
Yeah, as you are aware, we have embarked on data collection exercise with GBOS. We were trying to collect data, and in this data collection, we normally try to get email addresses. But what we received so far, many people are not giving us their emails, or many people don't have email addresses. But we're trying to get their phone numbers as well.
Oh, okay. It's like I had a radio ad, Nawek and GBOS.
Yeah.
If you come to my home, you should show me your ID.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, we are embarking on that, and I think we will continue that. We have almost covered Banjul and the KMs, part of the Birkama area, local government area. So we will do it for the rest of the country. We try to get as much data as possible, because all of these things cannot work without accurate data. So we are trying to get accurate data, clean data, so that we can feed the system with that, so that the customers will be able to enjoy the functionality, the full potential of the system. So that's the goal of it, and the whole end goal of it is to improve the customer service quality. Being it what the word BOCA comes with, like to bring the inclusiveness of it, so they are not being left behind. This is the first time of its kind. You know, maybe for many years, I don't know, maybe any other institution might have embarked on it, but this is the first time in Nawek. We have embarked on this. We have embarked on so many projects, but projects that are focused on customer, this is the first time BOCA IMS, and customers is purely customer focused project. So we are doing all we can to serve them, all to increase efficiency. At the end of the day, it will reduce costs, and then hopefully it will translate into the tariffs as well.
And in terms of convenience as well?
In terms of convenience as well, as I said, we trying our best to make sure that these applications are as user-friendly as possible. If you go to the portal, it's easy. We've looked at it over and over to make sure that anything that's going to be complicated for customers, we try to simplify it so that every lay person will be able to use it. And our doors are open. We have customer service. We have toll-free numbers that we can always call to assist in all our service. And we have third parties also. People have this perception that if I buy Q Power, it runs fast. I just want to tell the public.
Well,
that
I had a lot of complaints. I mean, people don't understand.
People don't understand, but it's all the same tariff that is applied to everybody. It's just that there's transactional costs in Q Power. If you walk to Nawek, you pay fare to go to Nawek and buy these things. So we are encouraging customers to buy from these third parties. Because that's the reason we are trying to make the service accessible.
Yes,
to
this is very important as well. And I would really love you to at least delve on it on the local language.
In the local language,
yes,
exactly.
at least people out there will understand what we're saying.
About the third parties?
Yes.
Okay.
The whole thing, the whole BOCA IMS service. Yes.
Okay.
So I don't know who's going first.
I think I'm a better Mandinka than him.
Mbadi Mandinko lo melben jibela. Nawek le nata jambi. Ya service kutole fintinina me ya lonko abal mako ela. Isajal se munafanno ila service olla. Obata imanta handula. Isa sino ela bunkono ye munafang ila mobile ola. Ye la bilol long. Faka pare jour ñaabe be tar la jele. So ngalon demanding ebe fem fola mo Mr. Manjang. Is it Manjang?
Yeah, Manjang.
Yes.
Okay, abaraka baake Mr. Osman. Okay, BOCA IMS nyimu project called Nawek ni minnata mi yalon ko anatal pour na customer dema laftale na customer ya na access also na service sort of has soniata nyami ibulu. So I can all na service mi nga sort of also okay nga service mi fana sort of wala ko nga third party jamal la sort of mi yalon ko ka cash power wa finole isa cash power san isa sila bunkono sa no cash power san be Q Power or approved services whatever, so all of them are even BMU cleanity ita Nawek ya sanje ita nyin dulal ya sanja BMU cleanity. The difference min bije wolon ko niya sang Nawek iba paso jola later na wek ni dara ki fa iba sila bun kono maybe transactional cost da may bolo jola o iba credit ko min sanna pour ka access otono bije ban ni wonten ka fo ni non ka tariya ka banjuna ni non ka tariya be ka tariya ka banjuna wotije so ko la fo so fa pare nga self service portal fana sotola mi yana ko isa dunne na wek website o a link ko bije la be sambala link na website o mi yana ko ni lafta isa dunje c'est l'account o jibe nole isa jibe nol fo account ila account ila consumption mi jellati ila consumption ten banyadi la isa jella consume ila bilo kala jellati bilo min kanana isol be jibe no jella isa complain nol fana ke no jella if you have any complaint isa ke no jella isa biso fana tara la fo sa ngaje ko min ko ni dara ka meter rate mo la suol kono sometimes nka tara ko min ibika mari tara so nyin kono so ka estimate den namira kana problem si na bilo samana mi ala ko warta so ngol promol be tala ke resolve nyin kono self service fana bi yela mi ala ko customer sa ala meter dino mo la ko min ni mi tara je sa dino jele yela dino mo la den nga ta bara mo binala a verify bara batina la ko min ko estimate ol be ta kala so ita complain ol kala ko min ka fo ne bilo siata la or amansia o be kala ko be avoid more try kana so by try kana as much as possible nim project ko mo pro belati pro nawek long pro customer long pro na customer long and nawek mo beltati right so pro na customer long project ko na ra focus ta pro customer da malaka so na 1669 fana bi yela toll free ni mo moy problem so resan call no
okay so umaya tabake
yeah
ka dundol fana be nganyala nawek la atele mun to la bundare melka kurango nin jiodi mol so na betiata drone nin service kutol fintita kanto ni aji be bi dunia e ba jalal ko mobile phone internet o wasiata wala atna ka nyin si fasoto pour ka sone andi mole akumaya tabake e so nyasi
abarka bake balde mbokay wan nawek nak ñu ran fi togal tay pour waxtaan ak askan gi sa lu jëm ci service bu es boo xam ne wala système bu es boo xam ne lañ fas yéene indi pour yombal li nga xamante ne moo di askan gi nu ñoo jëfandikoo nawek seen services yi am nañ fi nag comme ni ma ko waxee ñi nga xamante ne ñoo bàyyi ko nawek ma bàyyi suma boro bi mu nuyoo su ko defee ñu dugg ci waxtaan bi.
jërëjëf Eso kontaan nañ pour ñëw fii leeralal suñ client yi and everybody else. Pour won leen service boo xam ne nawek loolu leen ici for the customers so suñ project mu implement moom la ñoo ooyee Boka IMS project moom affaire yi ay systems la yoo xam ne ñoo dee daw biir nawek pour di yóbbu compagnie bi waaw bokka si système itam am nañ système yu ees yoo xam ne moom dafa féetoo si wàllum customer bi so xam naa su boobu leen gën a bëgg a waxtaane pour customer yi ñoom yan façon services la ñoom mun a enjoy si système bu US yi before customer yi soo bëggee application da nga dem si nawek head office bi pour nga de apply for let's say service connection ida ndox la o courant la waaye léegi mun ngaa dem to any of our branches whether the GBA on the provinces and then nga def sa application foofu then nga mun a topp application boobu seet fan la tollu every time nawek dina mun a communicate ak yow won la na sa application bi fii la nekka ba bés bu ñoo connect
service bi dafa laa mën a dimbale nga track sa application bi ni moo demee nga mën a xam tamit kañ ngaa jot sa mita wala kañ la gars yi ñëw dugal
ba pare nekkut ne pour tracking rek la because of léegi ñu ngi am more information available gis ne application process bi dafa gën a gaaw that it's not going to be transparent why as we gather more data ñu seet bottlenecks yi fan la dee nekka because système bi loolu dafa am an intelligent side yoo xam ne dina la mun a pointal de application si suñ ko defee de fii la dee càng di moo dee tam mu dee yaaga so nga gis ne nawek dina jóg def dara at that side make sure that is taken care of so da nga gis ne su nekkee ne application daf doon jël 2 months mun nañ koo reduce ñu target maybe application 1 month you know it's possible so but the only way nga mun a def loolu mooy nga am data so as time goes on ñu ngi gather more data it will be more efficient dafa gën a yokk efficiency level bi waaw léegi am nañ third parties mooy ñu dee liggéey ak NAWEC pour jaay sun services yi ñu make sure gën naa jegeñ customer because NAWEC mënut a nekk fu nekk léegi to make it possible that place yu nekk ñu am loo xam ne di jegeñ na customer bi dañ lay deal with ñu ñoo ooyee third parties so third parties yi right now am nañ about 17 of them 17 third parties yoo xam ne ñu ngi everywhere si dëkk bi ak including am na yoo xam ne ñoom ñu ngi overseas waaye ay Gambian leen they are part of the business ñu ngi jaay use Gambian yoo xam ne ñu ngi si diaspora bi di mun a jënd courant fu kaay nekk noonu so yooyu yëpp am nañ ko léegi de yenn saa yi nga dégg nit yi ñu ne soo jëndee courant NAWEC oo nga jëndee ko si third party bu NAWEC bi moo dee yaaga yeneen third party si fat dafa lay dem
waaw loolu am na solo ñu leeral ko bu baax ndaxte wax bi bëri na
waaw so loolu lu ko dee waral mooy nekkut ne fu NAWEC dee jaayee cash power is the same place la third party si te itam dee jaayee benn saaba la you know nekkut different system benn saaba la waaye NAWEC office right now there is no service charge okay
NAWEC duñ la charge dara
NAWEC charge
li nga jënd rek lañ la jox
okay so moo tax nga dee gis sa sum branches si soo fa demee di nga gis queue because of that service charge léegi soo demee si third parties yi dañ dee joxe service charge you know so they have different bands you know woo xam ne pour moo ko dee regulate ñu leen wax ne mënuloo charge lu ëpp lii nga mun a charge so customers yi loolu leen dee use waaye all of our third parties 17 yu ma mention yëpp seen charges yi is so affordable that you know because soo jógee one distance to the next in Gambia fee the minimum you will pay is like $7 or $8 maa ngi doon déglu yàlla
you get your capacity
waaw loolu la leen so soo jógee from point A to B back to A at least yaa ngi spend $16 isn't it yeah so most of these third parties te ñu dee cram sum branches yi noonu so bàyyee xel their consumption living ni daf dee nekk around $50 $100 loolu la ngay dee jënd so the next day you consume that 2-3 days provided stability of the electricity you nga ko consume few days then you are forced to come back so you also calculate the end of the month anybody can do this lu may wax nii end of the month ñaata yoon nga dee dem ñëw bi nga calculate fare boobu ñaata electricity nga dee jënd soo ko boolee woon yëpp nga use benn third party is much cheaper
dëgg la important waaye time bi xooj nañu very important and I believe we'll invite you again to see how successful is the whole system ndax nit ñi ñu ngi subscribe ndax nit yaa ngi bokk ci affaire si
waaw ñu ngi encourage ñëpp ñu
waaw ñu bokk ci ndaxte waaw lu am solo la eso waaw thank you very much for coming and joining us on this program eso
yeah, thank you, Balde. I mean, it's always great to be here, like I said at the beginning of the program, and we look forward to, you know, engaging our audience again on Monday.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, viewers, thank you for watching. This is all we have for you. Be reminded this program is sponsored by One Stop Water Solutions for all your water filters and dispensers. And see you on Monday.
te ndox mu set dafa bokk ci dunni doomu aadama te biir kat amul seetu waral na lépp lu fay dugg dafa war a doon li nga xamante ne ni lu indil doomu aadama bi loraange ci wàllu wérgu yaram One Stop Water Solution Limited ñu ngi fii ci biir réew taxaw temm fexe pour gis ne doomu aadama bu ne di nga naan ndox moo xamante ne ni ndex mu sell te wóor la ndax indil nañ leen ay xeetu filtres yi nga xamante ne ni mun ngeen koy jëfandikoo ci seeni pompe yi ci biir réew moo xam booxul ngay jëfandikoo wala pompe NAWEC yi ne bépp xeetu filtre bi nga xamante ne ni dina la indil wérgu yaram musal la ci loraange amal nañ leen ko ci biir réew am nañ 10-inch filter set of 3 bii nag ñett lay àndal bu ci ne ak li muy liggéey bokk na ci 5 micron pp sediment filter bii nag mooy segg ndox mi ba mu set génne fa lépp li nga xamante ne ni warta ànd ak ndox moomu bala nga koy jëfandikoo GAC granule carbon filter bii nag mooy segg génne lépp lu xeetoog